I'm Major Lisa Laurie, U.S. Army, certified instructor in aerobics, yoga, and Pilates.
And we're here to get you fit for duty!
A show by the military, for the military, and for anyone else who wants a hardcore workout. Prepare to sweat.
Today's Fit for Duty is yoga for golf. So grab your mat, blocks, or straps, a little bit of water, and let's get ready to stretch. My yoga partners today are from Walter Reed Army Medical Center and the U.S. Air Force Honor Guard. So let's get started. Beginning in mountain pose, placing palms to prayer. Your feet can be close together or hip width apart. Let's begin with a deep breath in through the nose, extending the arms skyward. And then exhale and swan dive forward. Now if you're able to touch the ground, feel free. But if you have a little bit of trouble, go ahead and use some blocks, like Joseph. Now inhale and come halfway up, extending the arms out into airplane. Feeling the extension through the backs of the legs. Exhale and fold. Inhale, stacking the vertebrae one on top of the other as we expand our arms upward, grabbing air around us and energy inward. And exhale, palms to prayer. And once again, inhale, lifting skyward. Exhale and swan dive forward to fold. Inhale, halfway up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lifting skyward, restacking the vertebra. And release to prayer. Moving into sun salutation, inhale up. We swan dive and fold. Lifting halfway up, extending the arms. Exhale, fold. Step the right leg back into low lunge. Now as we look down, you should be able to see the top of your foot, the knee forming a 90-degree angle. As we glance back, we're pushing into the ball of the foot and lifting that right knee into the thigh, so we're activating our quadricep muscle. Drawing the shoulders back, softening the belly. Tucking the tailbone under, we drop the right knee to the ground. And then exhale and lift. And once again, dropping the knee to the ground. And lift once again. Last time, resting the knee to the ground, we step back with the left knee, coming to a modified push-up position, hands under the eye of each shoulder. Lifting the buttocks into the air, dropping the chest to 7-point pose. Releasing the abdomen to the ground, lowering the feet, spiraling the thighs inward, we lift into Cobra. Now if you're a little more further along in your practice, take a look at Barb to my left. Exhale, release, and shift back to child's pose. Curling the toes of the feet under, sliding the feet to hip width, push into the balls of the foot, and slide back to downward facing dog with knees bent. Now gradually awakening the calf and Achilles, we begin to bicycle from right to left, shifting our weight from side to side. Our rib cage is open, our belly is soft, and we draw the chest through the arms and lift the tailbone into the air. Breathing, rolling the elbows under. Now if you're able to draw your heels back to the mat, engaging a full downward facing dog, feel free to do so. Holding that breath, breathing gently, expanding the lungs, expanding the rib cage, holding that pose. And in one more cycle of breath, we step our right foot forward, coming again into low lunge, left side. Taking a moment to check our form. The gaze is able to reach the top of the right foot, the knee is in 90 degrees, and that left leg is extended directly behind you. The left knee drops to the floor, tucking the tailbone under, and then the knee lifts again. And one more time, and it lifts. Last time, knee drops, and this time we lift, holding that low lunge, push into the right foot, and step forward as we once again fold. Inhale, expanding our arms upward, bringing them overhead. palms release to prayer mountain. Repeating the series to the left, inhale up. Exhale and fold. Halfway up, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Left leg steps back, low lunge left. Remembering our form, 90-degree angle of the right knee. Lower left knee into the mat. And lift the knee. And one more time, dropping the knee. And lifting it. And last time, as the knee touches the ground, we step back with the right knee. Coming to that modified push-up position, modified plank. Lifting our gluteals into the air, 7-point pose. Dropping chest to mat. The upper arm is tight to the rib cage. Hands underneath the eye of each shoulder. Softening the belly, resting the legs in the belly to the ground. Peeling up to cobra. Exhale, releasing out, extended child's pose. Lifting up, shifting back. Down dog. Holding this pose for 5 cycles of breath. If you're unable to draw the heels into the mat, just continue that gentle bicycling motion. Having your feet hip-width apart. Excellent. Now we step our left leg forward, returning to low lunge. Lower the right knee into the mat, tucking the tailbone under, softening the chest, keeping the shoulders low and relaxed. And lift that knee. And once again, drop your knee down. And lift the knee. Pushing into the left sole of our foot, we step forward and we return to mountain pose. Moving into standing series, inhale up and swan dive forward. Stepping our right leg back, rotating the toes slightly outward to that 10 o'clock position on the clock, bending the left knee. Now if you need to, you can grab that left thigh for balance as we bring ourselves up into Warrior One. Arms extended overhead, soles of the feet in contact with the ground. So Joseph, I'd like you to slide this back foot just a little bit further forward, moving that back leg in and in, turning that out. You should find the hips are parallel to the front of the room or towards your television set. Now, if you choose to provide just a little bit more chest and back opening, you can go ahead and take this back into a deeper back bend. Do what feels comfortable for you. A yoga pose should feel comfortable and relaxing. You should never feel lightheaded, dizzy, or nauseous. Keeping it natural and easy, excellent. And now we lower the hands into the mat. Rotating right toes forward, we step back into a full plank pose. Keeping the upper back nice and loose, nice and straight, not winging the shoulder blades. Hands underneath the shoulders. And we lower into a hover or chaturanga. Holding this hover, we breathe. Now, if you feel like you need to modify here, it's fine to just rest your knees on the ground. You decide what works for you. Make each yoga pose your own. Now with a big inhale, and as we exhale, we return up into plank. And now we lower down and pull into upward facing dog. Now if you have some spinal issues and you find upward facing dog really isn't right for you, modify to cobra, keeping the abdomen rested to the mat. Now we shift back and return to down dog. Stepping our right leg forward. Sliding our left foot in. Rotating left toes out. We return to Warrior One briefly, extending those arms overhead. Pushing our weight into the right sole of the foot. Step forward and lift the knee as we come into balance. Turning our left knee outward, we move into tree pose. Now, if you find that you're a little balance challenged here, always remember the closer the foot is to the ground, the closer the hands are to the heart, the easier it is to maintain your stability. So having that foot down by your ankle will be considerably easier than bringing it up towards your groins. And now releasing our arms, release the foot, and we return to mountain. Repeating left side. Inhale up. Swan dive and fold. Left leg steps back, turning those toes out to 2 o'clock on a clock. Right knee bent, we peel our chest up and we return to warrior one, opening up the hip. You'll find in golf, it's very important to have hip mobility. It's also very important in your daily life. We normally spend a lot of time in squatted positions, either sitting in a chair or driving a car, and over time that shortens the fibers in the legs. Now release down and come into plank pose. And step back, holding here. Keeping the back nice and low, creating a nice straight line from shoulder to heel as we lower into chaturanga. Holding that hover. Now we're going to finish off our series here, returning into that warrior one and mountain, and then finishing in tree as we continue into the break. So I encourage you to complete the series on the left, and we'll get back to you for some seated series and some abdominal work and twists. Welcome back to Fit for Duty, Yoga for Golf. We're going to begin working on our core strengthening and spinal twists. So we move to the floor, inhaling and lifting. Exhale, swan dive forward, fold. Now as we bend our knees, I'd like you to walk one knee at a time into an all fours position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips. As we lift our right arm, bringing it to shoulder and head level, bring the left leg off the ground. Holding spinal balance. I want you to imagine that you have a coffee cup resting on your tailbone, and your job is to make sure that coffee mug doesn't slip to the ground. We're drawing our belly button into the spine, and we're pulling our limbs in opposition from one another as we hold that extended and lengthening pose. Bring the right arm out to the side, increasing the intensity of the balance. Now as we rest our left knee to the mat, let's take that right arm, slide it underneath the left as we thread the needle. Resting the head to the mat, drawing that shoulder underneath us for a little bit of shoulder opening. Releasing out, we return to all fours. Engaging spinal balance on the left as we bring our left arm up and the right leg up to hip level. Drawing our belly button into the spine and our rib cage down toward the hips. Balancing our imaginary cup of coffee on our tailbone. Breathing, bringing our body into one straight line from head to heel. Breathing and lengthening, extending, spiraling our right hip downward to nice level position. And now we bring that left arm out to the side. As we lower our right knee to the mat, slide the left arm underneath the right for a gentle twist, threading the needle. As we release here, returning to all fours, shift back to a kneeling position as we swing our legs around, sliding the soles of the feet to the ground for core strengthening. With the soles of the feet hip width apart, rested to the mat, we slowly roll back to a supine position. Drawing the rib cage down, we inhale, and as we exhale, we slowly roll up to a crunch. Now, if you find that you prefer a little bit more neck support, look at Joseph as he brings his arms behind his head to give that neck support. The elbows remain way open, distant from the head. Now let's take that right leg and bring it into the air. Knees are level with one another, holding here, keeping those shoulders lifted and the rib cage down. Breathing tighter and tighter. Now if you'd like to increase the intensity, extend your arms overhead. Now taking the right leg, I'd like you to lower it to calf level. Now exhale and lift it to knee. And once again to calf. And then again to knee. And this is a lot harder than it looks. One more time. Back to knee. As we bend that right leg, lowering soles of the feet to the ground, draw the back down, taking a short break. And now as we exhale and come up again, drawing the belly button in, that rib cage down, I want you to imagine that you're trying to grab a popsicle stick with your waist. Extend the left leg, knees level with one another as we hold. Increasing intensity if you like, bring those arms overhead. And now we take that left leg, drawing it to calf. And exhale and lift. And again. And lift. And one more time. And exhale, and there we hold. Try to keep the shoulders low and distant from the ear. And now we bend the left knee. Slowly roll back. Taking a break. Half boat pose. We inhale deeply. And as we exhale, we slowly roll up once again to the crunch and bring the knees up, feet off the ground. Now modified position, keep the knees bent, calves parallel to the mat. If you'd like to increase intensity, extend the legs and turn the feet slightly outward and hold there. So you pick the level that is right for you. If at any time you feel any strain in your neck or your lower back, draw the knees into the chest and take a short break. As we inhale and then we exhale, breathing, lengthening, pushing the limbs in opposition, we release out of the pose and hug the knees into chest. And now we slowly roll over to our right side. Using our arms for support, we push ourselves up as we move into cow's head pose. Now you can do this any way you choose, coming to a kneeling position. Take your right leg and kick it around in front of you and stack the knees. Now if you find that you're a little tight through the hips, take a look at Joseph. He's just maintaining a kneeling position. If you find that maybe that kneeling position isn't quite right for you, a simple cross-leg position is also fine, which is known as Sukhasana or easy pose. You should find both sit bones are grounded. And now we bring our left arm overhead. And we bring our right arm behind our back. Now if you're a little tight through the shoulders, you'll want to grab a strap with that left hand, dropping it behind your back. Grab the other end of the strap or grab your fingers. So you should find the fingers are interlaced behind you. Our shoulders are open, nice and low and relaxed. Our belly is very soft. It's a wonderful shoulder opening exercise. And as you know, in golf, there is quite a bit of rotation and shoulder mobility that's required. Continue to hold, continue to breathe. And now we release our arms. Taking the left hand over our thigh, we rotate to a twist. Now if you'd like to continue exercising a little bit more shoulder opening, you can bind the pose by bringing the arm behind your back. Now returning center, we switch to the other side. You can do this by what we call as break dancing, or just lean back and cross the legs. Cow's head. Right arm comes up, grabbing your strap, bringing the arms behind you. If you find that the only way you can bring your hands together is by slouching and rounding, you're probably going to want to grab a towel or a strap to bridge that gap. And we release. And we come into a twist to the other side. And releasing to center. Just fold forward over those legs. And then releasing. As we lean back, we move into easy pose, crossing the legs. We come toward relaxation. Inhaling, expanding the arms, drawing the energy and air inward, palms to prayer, and we fold forward. Now you may choose to rest your hands on the ground or on your forearms, or you can draw those arms behind your back into garland. This completes our yoga for golf for today. So just take a few more moments here. I'd like you to stay in this position for at least 5 minutes. Another component of playing golf and of yoga is developing that connection between the mind, the body, and the breath so that we have more focused energy. We have no distraction while we're out playing golf or even through our workday. We all should take at least 5 minutes of focused breathing to honor ourselves, honor our bodies. I hope you enjoyed the workout. Let's continue our practice.
Hello, I'm Commander Dave Kevlish, Team Physician at the U.S. Naval Academy. And I'd like to talk with you today about a problem that affects over 35 million Americans, a problem that's increasing in young adults, and a problem that can have serious health, military career, and social consequences. I'm talking about eating disorders, to include anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating. These can pose real medical dangers. I'd like to introduce Andrew Preston, a former midshipman and elite triathlete who knows all too well the personal impact of eating disorders.
One risk factor for athletes to be aware of, particularly those competing in endurance sports such as cycling, long-distance running, swimming, or triathlon, is the development of an eating disorder. These sports are higher risk for eating disorders due to the emphasis placed on low body weight and leanness for increased performance. Two main types of eating disorders are anorexia and bulimia. Anorexics lose a large amount of weight in a short period of time through the restriction of calories and extreme dieting. Anorexics will eat foods such as salads, pickles, egg whites, coffee, and tea in order to achieve a feeling of fullness without consuming a large amount of calories. Bulimics, on the other hand, will eat a large amount of food in a short period of time and then purge this food through vomiting or the use of laxatives or diuretics. This can lead to serious side effects such as dehydration, fatigue, depression, or even suicidal thoughts. This isn't a disease that just affects 15-year-old girls. I should know. I was a triathlete at the United States Naval Academy and was forced to miss my national championship race my senior year due to the development of a serious eating disorder. If you or someone you know is suffering from an eating disorder, please contact your local healthcare provider.
So remember, if you or anyone you know has an eating disorder, please seek the attention of a medical professional. We're here to help. Together, let's train smart and stay strong.
I hope you enjoyed your Yoga for Golf workout today, and I'd once again like to thank my partners from Walter Reed Army Medical Center and from the U.S. Air Force Honor Guard. You tune in next time, we'll get you fit for duty.